everybody, it's Friday and it's 10 a.m. in the west coast of the U.S. and this is Helping Our Mini Equines mini break. And I got in front of us here Mr. Cochise. And Lori, you want to say that properly?
It's Cochise.
Cochise. I got Cochise in front of us. He's saying hi to our donkeys. And that's where we thought we would start today. First of all, hi, Lori.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So why don't you give us a quick rundown on Cochise and tell us a little bit about him, and then we'll talk about donkeys for a minute.
Okay. So Cochise was one we brought in, what has it been, a month?
Probably a month.
Probably about a month. He's 10-year-old. He was a stallion. He's no longer a stallion. He's now a gelding and doing really well. And he was the one that had the big curly feet.
Meaning the hooves were curled way, like three curls worth of hooves.
They looked
unbelievable.
Like ram's horns.
They really did. We've never seen anything that bad.
Yeah. So our farrier took them off, and our vet came out and has done some trims. He's going to get another little trim on Monday. So about every 3 weeks, we have to have the vet out to do this.
And you see he's wearing his cute little boots.
Yep, I got to fix that left front one.
Yep.
And
so tell us, so inside the boots are preemie diapers, right?
Yes.
So talk about that.
So we want to keep his foot dry, and especially when it rains out, they can get wet and sweaty in there, and then that just causes more bacteria and issues, especially on a hoof that hasn't had exposure to the elements, So we put a little talcum in there as well to kind of keep it drier, and the diapers, and then the boots. So the diapers help to keep it drier, and we change them out every day.
Right.
But it also helps for any rubbing on the boots.
So what I'd like to just kind of remind people, so his curls were probably 18 inches long in front of him on the front, and probably 12 plus inches on the back, which meant that his foot angle was never right.
No.
And so what we're doing is first giving him time to get his feet adjusted, his tendons and ligaments in those legs adjusted to having relatively normal shaped hooves.
Yeah.
And we're only taking off the most minimum each time as he is able to grow in bottom of hoof.
Yeah.
But everything is so sensitive because it's been so jacked up for so long that he'll stay in boots for a while. But eventually, we believe there's a very good possibility that he's going to come through this unscathed. I mean, he's never going to be a riding horse for sure.
No.
But we think there's a good chance that he's going to have perfectly healthy hooves and a very, very good outcome in the future.
Yeah. We certainly hope so. We won't know for a while.
Right.
It takes quite a while. They don't even clip anything off. They just kind of shave with the rasp to kind of level things.
It's like filing our nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did do x-rays on him to see, how much it affected his bones inside his foot.
Because what can happen is the bone that goes down into the hoof can rotate or turn. And if that's really bad, then he'll never be comfortable. But as long as the rotation isn't too extensive, then he has a good shot at comfort.
Yeah.
And that's our goal.
Let's talk here just for a second.
Yeah.
Because I've had a lot of people ask this question.
Good.
So what happens is you have laminae that's in the foot, and it's almost kind of like Velcro, if you think of Velcro,
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when they get any type of inflammation or anything like that, that Velcro starts to separate.
Right.
And that's what holds the bone and everything in place. And so when that separates, then the bone starts to sink down into the foot.
Right.
That's laminitis. So, a very simple term of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, his was so messed up, eventually all the pressure and all that stuff started to release that laminae. And
so his laminae are separated.
Well, to a point, yes, to where it was holding, and to where the weight of the horse has now kind of pushed that bone down. So
too far down into his hoof, which is very, very painful. So that's what we got to get fixed before we take his boots off. And that's, the goal. Again, he's got to be able to live a pain-free life.
Exactly.
That's our goal.
At least in the pasture.
And
That's all we care.
And if we can't do that, then we will make the right decision. But our intention and expectation is we will hopefully get there.
Yeah, and he's looking good. I mean, so I feel like we have a really good chance.
We got a good shot.
Yeah.
We got a good shot.
Yeah.
Okay, we also wanted to talk about and update folks on the donkeys because we've had some stuff happen in donkey land. Yeah. So, why don't you take us through that, please?
Okay.
Unless you want me to. You can.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So you guys know Bronco and Ferrari. So this is Annie and Maggie are Hinny. And next to Maggie is Bronco. And then behind him is Oakley. And you probably noticed that Ferrari is missing from this group.
Yep.
We suffered a very big loss this week. We ended up having to put Ferrari down.
Last Saturday.
Yep. And that's always difficult for these guys when they're been a bonded pair for quite a while. Ferrari, we came out and we found him down on the ground. And we got him up, and he walked off like no big deal. So
all equines do lay down, and
Yep.
they sleep lying down. They can also sleep standing up, but they do lie down. It's perfectly okay to have an equine lying down, either recumbent where they're sitting up on their chest or laying completely flat. You don't have to panic that you've lost your animal.
Right.
However, they have to be able to get up, and Ferrari was having trouble getting up.
Yep. So we got him up. We assisted him, got him up. He walked off, went over, ate some hay, and we thought everything was fine.
Yep.
He was good for almost 2 days, acting normal, eating, blah, blah, blah. And then we found him down again. And the second time we found him down, he had been struggling for quite a while, you could tell. So we called the vet immediately, and he ran out. And, we looked at him. We got him up. He was moving around. We looked at him, and our best guess was that maybe he had some arthritis going on and was having difficulty getting up. So the plan was, let's put him on some pain meds for a few days. And
anti-inflammatory, keep him super warm, give him lots to drink and lots to eat,
warm
and get him out of the wind and, all that kind of really intensive supportive care.
Yep. So we did that, and he stayed up all day. The next day we came out, he stopped eating.
Yep.
And one thing we know about our donkeys and our mini horses, but especially our donkeys, is they cannot go without eating. So as soon as I saw he wasn't interested with eating, we loaded him up and hauled him to Pilchuck.
That's our veterinary hospital.
Yep. And he just continued to go downhill. So they did all his blood work. Everything looked really, really good except for teeth. And so with that, they sedated him. Now, I want to remind you all, he had a dental a month prior.
We do dentals on everybody, even our young ones. We check their teeth because it's vitally important. Yep.
Now, these guys went without a dental many years, as we know. So, we had it done a month prior to this incident by our vet there. And they went ahead at the hospital, sedated him, went in and found a tooth that was super loose. Now we're like, how does that happen when you had a dental?
2 teeth super loose, 2 teeth ready to come out.
So, what we find out is when an animal has gone a long time without a dental, you can imagine it grows bony, plaque and all that around the teeth. So you go in and you do a dental and they take that off, and that structure was holding these teeth that really probably would have came out a long time ago if they had regular dentals. So they went ahead and cleaned that off, and then the tooth started to get loose.
Right.
So even though we were trying to be diligent and did our dentals, every month, we still have to watch.
We did our dentals last month. We don't do dentals every month. Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. But the net result was that from then on, that night he was better, and by the next morning he started to really fail. at the hospital. He was there with Bronco, of course. We didn't break up the bonded pair. And he kept failing and deteriorating and deteriorating. He wouldn't stand up. He wouldn't eat. He had lost the will to live. And that was the result was a unfortunately horrifically easy decision to euthanize him on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we were there. Lori and Rick were there. And they brought Bronco back. And since then, we are paying extra care to Bronco to make sure that as he grieves the loss of his lifelong companion, that he doesn't crash. Right. So the good news is that he had been spending time with Annie Oakley before, and he'd been spending time with Maggie before, so he didn't come home to a solo donkey situation. That could have been incredibly tragic. The other thing is that he has adopted Rick, Lori's husband, as his best friend, and he and Rick and Bronco hang out every day for a while for hugs and snuggles and scratches. And Rick has always said, why would you even want a donkey? And now he's like, I love donkeys.
Yep.
Because they're so darn special. So the bad news is, and the horrible news is, we did lose Ferrari last weekend. The good news is that Bronco's doing good. The rest of the donkeys are doing good, and we're going to keep our eyes super carefully peeled on them.
I mean, you keep learning, right?
We keep learning. So today, up here, we are doing a couple of introductions. We brought Curly in. She's our one-eyed little mini mare to spend some time with the donkeys, and that went just fine. And now we're going to, when we finish taping, we're going to go ahead and introduce Cochise to Orion. Because we'd love to get him integrated into a herd now that he's a gelded fella. The last time Lori tried this about a week ago, that was too soon. There was way too much testosterone left in his body, which would encourage him to try to fight any other male in the area. So as soon as Cochise has enough ability to control his brain, then he's going to be moving in with a herd, which, it makes everybody's life better. And he's such a fine fellow.
Oh, he is. Absolutely one of my favorites. I'm sorry, but I love him.
Which one isn't one of your favorites, Lori?
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess the only other thing that I wanted to say today is we are open for adoptions. We have a handful right now that are adoptable into the right families and situations. And we would love to talk to you if you might be interested. Honestly, I got some animals I really want to bring into the farm, but we are full, and we are not bringing anybody else in until we move some out. Because we made a promise when we started this rescue just about 2 years ago, which was that we knew we could not save them all, but the ones that came across our threshold would have the best possible life for as long as possible.
Yep.
And so, I wish we could do everybody, but we can't right now. So that's where we're at. Because we can only make our world a little bit better one life at a time. And there goes Cochise in the big role. Oh, it is so good. I'm such a warrior. I gotta go. I gotta scratch my back. Oh, and you think about this guy. Those hooves would not have allowed him to be able to lie down, to roll, to live any kind of life. I mean, in the past month and a half, even with the gelding, his quality of life has gone up tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
So we're feeling pretty jazzed about Mr. Cochise.
Yes.
Thank you to the volunteers. It's so cold.
Yep.
It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's so cold. Thank you, everybody who gets out here to help feed and clean. We have something like 100 active volunteers a week that make helping our mini equines function.
Yep.
We're very, very lucky.
We're always looking for others, too. So
please.
If you've got a couple hours once a week.
Or more. But once a week, a couple hours for on-site work. And you get to play with minis.
Yes, you do.
Anything else today, Lori?
That's it.
Thanks, everybody. It's a pleasure. We really appreciate you all watching with us.